Page 20, Ladies in Waiting. 4/4 time, 1 flat in the key signature, when the key of F major. The B's will be B flatted unless they have natural signs, and some of them do. Look out. I will take this one hand at a time. A lot of eighth notes going on here. When we're working on notes and rhythms and all this, I like to play it legato. So the right hand, when it comes in, we're up here, and it's 3 and 4 and. Here, that becomes clearer when we add the left hand. So right now it's just 3/8 notes. 1, and again I'm just transferring weight from finger to finger. I'm just twisting or turning that hand in. Now they're saying second finger again here. So the second finger's working both. That's okay. But if it's picking up to speed, that could get a little awkward. It's doable. You can do it. You can also just put thumb on that and cross over. And a lot of times we'll do that fingering instead, rather than using the same finger. There's nothing wrong with using the same finger. It's done. So I'll leave that up to you. It's just another possible way of fingering it. Next line, 4th finger now on it. And then go up to C. Thumb twice, that's okay. And then this is just like a scale. It's like a C major scale with a B flat added. And then C major scale going up. Don't forget the B flat, it's in the key signature. And then come down, not a lot of time. And then last line. Here, scrunch up, thumb, thumb. And this is a reach. And those two phrases come together, so there's no silence between them, you connect them. And if this doesn't work for you, then you need to put your thumb on that C. So here. So it's there. So you're in position. And then it's an F major scale going down. Left hand, let's see what happens. Here, 4th finger, 4th finger each time. It's like the sequence going up, we're just fingering it the same way. That's fine. And then these connect these. I put a thumb on that last A. That way I'm in position for the 4. And B natural. Yes, both of those B's are B natural. They're in the same measure. Then you get 3rd line treble clef up here. Bass clef again. 3rd finger here on the G. And again, it's a C major scale going down with a B flat added. Last line, thumb, 2nd finger. That's fine. Put the hands together. This should be interesting. 4th finger here, 5th finger here. I would suggest you put your right hand in position, be ready to go. See, it's just 8th notes, 1 and 2 and. Starting with the 2nd full measure is here. Again, the left hand, make sure you lift this left hand up as you play these, because they're by themselves. Don't hang on to that note. Into the 2nd line, you're up here. And then you remember the left hand's got to come up here. Now, if you can do the scales, actually doing them in contrary motion is pretty easy, because you're almost mirroring the hands. So here, this is the 3rd line down, the last 2 measures. You're here. All you got to do is add the B flat to it. Thumb together. That's really actually not too bad. least for me it didn't. I hope it. Now, I'll show you a little trick I do on pieces. A lot of times I'll do it. I'm going to finger the notes as to help me out. If I'm having a problem, I'll change the fingering to help me out. And the end of the third line, we're going from here to here. That's tricky. And this piece moves pretty good. You don't have a lot of time to do that. So since the left hand is here and I can reach that note, I'll play that note with the left hand. That gives me a half a beat to get down here to do that note. And I'll just play that note. So it's here, here. So I would take a little pencil and I'd draw a little curved line over that middle C to indicate play it with the left hand. You see, just because a note is in one staff or the other doesn't mean you got to play it with that hand. There's no rule that says that. And in etudes, I prefer to not mess around with the fingering too much because a lot of times the fingering is part of the etude. I don't know that this is really an etude per se. It's in an etude book and they're calling it an etude, but I don't really know if that's what the composer had in mind. So in my mind, I would play that here. So that last measure, the third line, we'll just start with that run going up. Like that. And then as I'm doing that, then I can move the left hand down. That's much easier to me than trying to get the left. That's dangerous. It really is, especially if you get nervous. And then the last line. You can kind of get the rhythm and the fingering worked out where it's working for you, as slow as you got to go. You don't need to go this as fast as I'm going. Then we can add the articulation, the slurs and the staccatos to here. See, that's a staccato. And then slurs. The staccato. For the most part, it's all legato, but these little breath marks and things, not really breath marks, but you know, the splits between the phrases are kind of important. Then you can add the dynamics. Well, moderately loud, whatever that is, you're going to go up to loud and can go all the way down to soft. Right there, that's loud, and then go down. Then go down to soft quickly. And then we're going to go up to about a moderately soft or so. Right there. Now, moderately loud at the end of the second line. Come down a little moderately soft. And you're going to go up to moderately loud. And you're going to slow down a little bit. And then here. And moderately loud. And then you're going to crescendo up to a loud also. And they don't tell you to speed back up. They just tell you to slow down. Well, technically that means you're playing the rest of this slower. Here's because in the last line it says rather broadly, so that reinforces the idea that when you slow down, you stay slowed down. A lot of times when you slow down like that, they give you an off tempo to go back up your speed. Not here. They want you to slow down and stay there. At the last line, you're slower. Broadly means slower. Yeah. Up to loud, and then subito means suddenly. So you were loud, and then suddenly you're sort of soft. And you're going to go down to you're sort of soft, down to soft. And then slow down at the end even more. And get softer, all at the same time. Yeah. And then that fermato, you'd hang on to that. If I do it with a metronome, I'll just hang on to that last quarter note 2 counts instead of 1. Speed-wise, well, moderately fast, they give you some suggestions. It has to be accurate. So it's the overall, to me, moderately fast is the feel of the piece. It's This piece to me is kind of like a conversation between some man and some woman, where the man is here and the woman is here. And the man and the woman. And the woman continues. And the man, okay. And the woman is, And very gently. And then very sweetly. That's the visual I get when I play this. It helps to have an imagination when you're dealing with music. Yeah. You have to get to know it well enough you can feel this, not having to worry about notes and fingering and all this, because you are moving around pretty good. And then you start feeling the dynamics, and then you'll start feeling the speed a little better. Don't play it faster than you can play these eighth notes evenly and under control. At the end of the third line, because of the vocal writ, you may have time to move your hand down here if you want. So you don't need to use the left hand. But I think it's good practice to use the left hand. You get accustomed to the idea of thinking out of the box a little bit. So I would encourage you to try that out and see what you think. I'd like to play this with you very slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do dynamics. I'll give us 3 counts. Let's just play it together slowly. 1 and ready and go and 4 and 1 and